This is rebound, everyone. Most people go like this, right? They hit the pad, put too much energy in, stop the stick on the way up. So learning how much energy to put into the surface and how to react to that is crucial. This is the difference between someone who's a jazz player and someone who's like just a rock guy, right? You can't play jazz if you don't understand rebound, right? And I was fortunate enough to grow up playing a lot of jazz and a lot of rock. So I'd go home and play along to like Buddy Rich and Mahavishnu, and then I'd put on like Pantera and Meshuggah and whatever. So I was kind of lucky to be doing both of these things at a young age. But if you're playing straight ahead and you don't understand this, it sounds terrible. Right? Versus you're playing, your brain is like, okay, arm, I'm playing 3 notes. As opposed to understanding what rebound is, you play 1 note and 3 notes happen. See how as soon as I hit the hi-hat, I stop moving? I understand how much energy to put in and how to react to that, so it all happens on its own. Make sense? Okay. So again, this is something I spend months on with someone, and I'm just like throwing it at you guys, but just go home and try and just pay attention to what the stick wants you to do. The stick will tell you. Like if you look at the tip of it, it goes, I'm going to fall back down now. Pay attention to what it tells you. That's huge. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay, cool. Last thing I'm going to do, so actually, if we speed that up and turn that into doubles, can you guys see my hands? So it's big and open and exaggerated right now, but if I speed that up, that's still the same thing. It's just a much smaller movement. 1 down, 1 up, 2 notes. I'm just trying to be as lazy as I can possibly be. Now, one of the main things people do too early is people are like, oh, you got to use your fingers, you know? Right? So I only do that when I need to. If it gets to a certain point where I can't go any faster and the second note's getting low, then I bring them in. You guys hear the difference? Right? So I only do that if I have to do it. It's a huge... People do that way too early. Right? All right, cool. Last thing I'm going to do for technique, single strokes. So, German. How many people have had someone tell you to pull the stick up at some point in time? No one? I'm sure some of you have. Yeah, okay. So, question everything anyone ever tells you, including everything I'm saying right now. Because if you think about that, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. If you bounce a basketball, you throw the ball down, do you hurry up and pick it up? No. Some of you are laughing because it's ridiculous, right? You throw the ball down, you anticipate it coming up, and you get out of the way. If you are pulling the stick up, you're working harder to get in your own way, right? That doesn't need your help. You can't even see that if I totally get out of the way, right? So you want to keep the stick glued to your fingers and just bounce a basketball. Whether it's German or French. Whoop. Does that make sense? And that goes the same way for French fingers. I can do that all night because I'm not doing anything. That's the whole point. I'm just getting out of my own way. Does that make sense? Okay. And I was like, man, he's always doing these ghost notes, filling in everything. Like, and I thought it was so cool. So I sat down and was like, wait a second. If I just put my hand over here, that's a paradiddle diddle. Make sense? So, that's step one. You figure out something you like, right? Or at least some sort of version of it, right? What if I play that as a fill? Okay? You guys know what displacement is? So I'm gonna move the whole thing. It's a very simple device, and you can come up with all sorts of different cool stuff. So if I take that same idea and move it backwards one note, I'm gonna start on that left. It's like a Motown fill, right? All right, it's just backwards. Do it again, start on the diddles. Right, so you can take one idea and turn it into 6 different things, right? So if I play the first one and the third one that I just played in the context of a groove and use them as fills, they sound pretty cool. Make sense? It's very simple. So just as soon as you hear something that you like, just be like, how many different ways can I screw around with this, and what do I want to do with this, right? So